to lay the bridge Bifröst, layer by layer, as if drizzling invisible stardust. Can we? Yes, we can. And why should we? To reach Valhöll fully alive. Freyjugettir norræn menning. Óðsmál. We shall even have to relearn concepts that we, falsely and mistaken, claim to know and understand. Correct many imprinted wrongs. First, frankly admit and innocently face the plausible fact that we might have gotten the whole thing all wrong. Why are we born? We are born to evolve spiritually. How do we decide to be born? Urður verðandi skuld, calculate for us, place, time and parents. Hell is only a coffee break between lifespans. Once born in a body on earth, what do we see? Only flickering intangible gungnir, out of which we make a world. Learn that we do not see our blinding ignorance, and why? Tröll are of the nature that we see not, that we see not. Want to understand concepts intellectually. Loddfafnir, in second part of Hávamáll, sits down to really listen. Avoid expensive pseudo-teachers. They're all over the place. Are we here offending some preachers? No. No one becomes offended here, as all the pseudo-teachers think they are teaching the only true truth. They sound convincing and make a good and reassuring appearance. The inevitable örlög, fate, is that each one of us gets the master he deserves. We do not see well enough, not yet, but nonetheless try not to be deluded by bigotry, pomp, and flattering baseless eloquence. Someone has to educate us about the purpose and goal, make us literate on the symbolic language and allegory. Óðsmál is the first step, opens our eyes, then we ourselves take over. How to reach the goal, Valhöll fully alive, how to spread Bifröst layer by layer, easy and delightful. We shall learn the technique to go daily to Ásgarður, Hnitbjörg, Glaðheimar, Ægir, to gain fimbulrúnir, góðir galdrar. The art to still high seas, learn to make gleipnir and other life's handy contraptions, have a sip of mead of wisdom and taste the wine of Valföður, learn to wield mjölnir and handle gungnir precisely, know how to make peace among sons of kings and wage peace wherever we go over lands. Now see that we start seeing, and we want to tell others of the shining bright wonders they not yet see. The material needed for Bifröst is purity. New theories and interpretations in Óðsmál. Loki as a time concept. First chapter. We shall even have to relearn concepts that we, faulty and mistaken, claim to know and understand. Correct many imprinted wrongs. First, frankly admit and innocently face the plausible fact that we might have gotten it all wrong. During the Dark Ages, the Kali Yuga part of our perpetual cycles of fróðafriður and devastating greed, things go bad. It can take us time to recover from the damage done by Dark Ages. Now we shall regain profound understanding. No blinding ignorance shall be. The most delicate knowledge has to hibernate in disguises during times of hoar-frosts and gales of ignorance. Overlive as timeless seed. Truth never dies. We only, at times, do not see it. Like the roots in spring know that spring has come, so truth blossoms when Satyuga comes. Things might look a bit shabby when the white winter snow is melting, and the dark, wet, icy soil sleepily peeps at the bright rays of sun, which it almost forgot during the time of short days and long nights of the winters of the north. Yes, things are a bit shabby right now. That is only because we see it that way. We should think about what is about to happen. The true beauty of Fornisiður is about to blossom again. Inevitably, the roots, nourished in the profundity, will provide the divine sap, which will be seen in full glory in the leaves and fruits we shall enjoy. We shall remember to knees and niður to give back. If we don't, then we are mere thieves. Óðinn í hangi, pending, á vinkameiði. Perhaps this would be the first time you find out how easy it is to nísa niður, visit Tívatún, the abode of the laws of nature, where the three thus marks, tríguna, are not to be found. Have you ever heard the term awareness, aware of itself only? The TM technique gives mind the opportunity it will cherish. The technique is subtle. It is not concentration, not contemplation, not mindfulness practice, not any religion, not any philosophy, not any particular lifestyle. Only a scientifically proven and verified mental technique. Second chapter. Why are we born? We are born to evolve spiritually. How many of us know why we are born? Did teachers, preachers, parents, grandma and grandpa tell us? Did school care for our spiritual evolution? Or was school loaded with fun and learning and stress, and exciting surroundings and atmosphere, and not so much fun, even fear and unease? Some of us were making it, got good degrees, can fill the garage with whatever we seek of this so-called stuff. Some got a lousy comparison to the Jones who are making it. But either way, stress accumulated in our nervous system, and this was not encountered. Not until we can complain about symptoms does anyone take heed, the least we ourselves, as our education in spiritual matters is meagre, to say the least, rather altogether missed out. The so-called education in these matters of life is even misleading, damaging. It keeps the mind on the sphere of thoughts, emotions, and fixed ideas. That doesn't get us anywhere. What we take as being spiritual, that is talk about something up there, words, talk, which keeps us on the sphere of thoughts and emotions, is not spirituality itself. Only talk about it on the all-worldly sphere of life. We get nothing else. Only talk about something we do not perceive of. Here we have our petty, vicious cycle of waking and sleeping. Awake, we think. Asleep, we have dreams every now and then. We call REM, dreaming, the third state of consciousness. Dreams are only because of tiredness in our physiology getting released. REM, for rapid eye movements, the only body part we then move. We are not evolving spiritually when we live only this. We are not apes who have, by some chance, gotten a human nervous system. We are made feel that what we call evolution has now come to that majestic end. We are men, walk on two, erect apes, and something more. We can reason, see the difference between good and evil. What a life! We do not even understand the concept spiritual evolution. No one ever taught us about that. We are not only ignorant about man's spiritual growth, but also deluded. A man who looks very pious might not be living a heightened state of consciousness at all. We can, namely, not see on a man which state of consciousness he lives. We do not even know that there are states of consciousness. So what on earth would that be? We are told that all are equal before that God named God. Smart tactic to keep all in. But rigor tells us that not all men are born equally evolved, which actually is the case. Now we shall have to innocently admit that we are not perfect. We are, each one of us, on our evolutionary path. That is not easy, as we do not see our ignorance because of our blinding ignorance. We have the feeling that we are so perfectly perfect, intelligent as we are, humans who can reason. Would there be any such thing as perfection, enlightenment? If yes, then would that concept or state go for some chosen ones, or might it perhaps go for me too, and for all men? Do we enjoy the nut? Óðsmál said tell us that we are here to evolve towards perfection. Each man from the very place or state where he is now, rationally, taking his next step from that very spot on which he stands. But what are we talking about? How can we do something to evolve? Is evolution not something which simply takes place and takes care of itself? We are all responsible for our spiritual evolution ourselves. And we should know that spiritual evolution is the purpose of every our lifespan. Sjálfur leið þú sjálfan þig, thou thyself lead thyself. This is the task at hand for which we decided to show up here on earth wearing a human body. What is Loki, mankind, doing here on Mother Earth? All the profound knowledge found in Óðsmál is a gift to mankind from Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, an Indian physicist and an enlightened man. Third chapter. How do we decide to be born? Urður verðandi skuld calculate for us place, time and parents. Hell is only a coffee break between lifespans. One of the ghosts of the Roman reign in Europe and in Western culture, the Churchian era, is this only one lifespan or only one life. Note, I here take it for granted that Churchianity is the Roman Empire under a new name, a much used trick to change identity but keep the core. On a Churchian assembly in Constantinople, now named Istanbul, named by the Vikings Mikligarður, the Great Garden or Great City, the assembly decided upon this cunning creed of one lifespan only, which would come in handy as a time pressure to have men repent their sins and buy an absolution for money. Dost thou know that Luther was, to begin with, protesting against the selling of pardons for sins, thereby spoiling that good business which a German bishop was carrying out in Germany for the Vaticano to finance St. Paul's in Rome? Why do we not scotch these ghosts? Try to put the keepers on all these ghosts of old and rotten lies? No use becoming angry and use language, my lovely, but our sluggishness is because we do not see them as deliberate lies and even take them as living truth. This is exactly an example of how smart brainwashing so smartly works. We do not see how ignorant we have become by the brainwashing. The truth is that we are born again and again. We are stuck in this vicious cycle of action and the incentive thereof. Besides that we have no idea of that we are heading somewhere. And why would that unnoticed vicious cycle be? If thou wonderest, what would be the vicious cycle of action and its effects and the seed of memory in this context, then I suggest thou goest to skræða number 4 of Óðsmál for Brands, where Þjóðvitnir, in the end, reluctantly though, exposes his most effective business secrets. Óðsmál books on Amazon, Óðsmál educational videos on youtube.com/Gaujagoði. Our god Ullur, who funnily enough is fire on skis, shall be evoked to burn a much needed hole on our vicious cycle, burn the seeds of action memory hidden in the heart. Ullur has burnt our gemisgarðar. Really easy to evoke Ullur. We only have to have the technique to nísa niður and practice that twice daily all our life. Delightful. Now we shall prefer understanding. Yes, about time. We realize now that we do not see the whole picture, so we cannot answer for our decisions in this severe enterprise of lifespans on earth. We might even blame something, circumstances or someone, even our parents, but it's not fair, as we are all responsible for our life. The ways of actions are unfathomable, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Gahana karma no gati. On the other hand, the ways of our gods can be fully explored. Their ways are the laws of nature, always correct, always flawless, always life-supporting, always true to themselves. To fully understand all the laws of nature, we try not on the thinking level, intelligent as we though are, but transcend to the source of them. Ásgarður, the unified field of natural law. We have here, in pure consciousness, the power to cope with any situation. Urður verðandi skuld are a natural law, the law of an action always having an equal reaction. Vibrations once set forth return to their origin sooner or later. As we sow, so we shall reap, the law of karma. Karma means an action, an act, something done, thought, said. Our actions, Urður, old and forgotten as they might be, are the cause of our skuld. Skuld means allotted duty and fair debt to repay. We most likely do not remember past deeds from former lifespans, But Verdandi never fails in her calculations in the sphere of time and space. Hell is a delightful rest between lifespans. Verdandi, not disturbed by that break. We rest in peace in Helja. When we no longer use our sophisticated body, it goes to the dogs, Geri and Freki. Our cadaver naturally recycled. We do not die. Nothing ever dies. Und lifir og deyr aldrei. Soul lives and never dies. One of the ghosts of ignorance left over from the dark ages of Europe is the mix-up of our cold and bright and peaceful hell with the hot and horrible hell from the southern scriptures used by the Roman Empire and its subdivisions, some terminology. We do not have that imported southern hell. We do have, though, some nibble hell, most likely some hell of a bad place, some naraka. I'm not going to try that out. We need no devils or satans. We need not evil, need not threat, only truth and understanding. We always mocked that stupid devil and cheated on him. We also have to cope with the mix-up of Valhall, with the southern heaven after death of the body. These institutional concepts have no bearing in Fornisiður. We only need truth and understanding. Fourth chapter. Once born in a body on earth, what do we see? Only flickering, intangible gungnir, out of which we make a world. At conception, each one is becoming an individual. We might not like to be crammed up in Hildisvíni, Freyja's shield, mother's womb, uterus. All of a sudden, after the comfort and freedom at Helja, here and now not really encountering the process and enterprise. Hildisvíni. Even a breast-sucking baby might not be so obsessed by being an individual. But soon, as an embryo, in the security of Hildisvíni, we develop an individual nervous system, which gives us the feeling of being an individual. That individuality is a bit tricky, as we thereby forget who we really are. Forget that we are pure consciousness. Note that an abortion is a murder. The sacred Hildisvíni should not be invaded by the doctor's assassinating equipment. Every living being is on its path of evolution. Killing is a sin, no matter who is killed. We develop eyes by which we see. I see thee, thou seest me. How then can we be one? We forget that we are consciousness, all of us. But what is it actually that our senses perceive? Nothing tangible. Only gunglir, quarks, superstrings, flickering specimen which we take for something real. They are simply hard-to-fix vibrations in Ginnungagap, and them we call creation. Even our magnificent physiology consists of this thought-to-be stuff of amusingly dancing waves. Our senses bring their perceived sensation of that wave dance to the brain, who in turn makes out of it an illusion, which we call a world. No two make the same worlds, as worlds are private opinions. They are of a quality exactly like the maker of them in each case. If we want our world to be a beautiful one, nourishing to all life, we simply learn to nísa niður and purify our nervous system. Loki, mankind must learn to nísa niður, to imbibe the bliss of God the Son, the Sæla of soul. Fifth chapter. Learn that we do not see our blinding ignorance, and why. Truth are of that nature that we see not, that we see not. The trouble with ignorance is that we do not see how ignorant we are. We are told to take a shower, given shower gel bottles, wear smart clothes, make a good impression in the eyes of others, get a degree in something, and a lot of other good things to look good and feel good. But none of these expensive institutions who we claim to be teaching us all about life tell us how to evolve spiritually. Why do they not tell us? Because nobody told them, and therefore they do not know. Ask teachers, parents, priests, or just anyone around thee why we are born, what we are doing here, if there be a goal, and if so, how to aim at it and reach it. Filling the garage with gear. Be happy, believe in that something they tell us about. put on a label and claim thereby to be free, liberated and freed from sins, then what is it that we call being happy? What we seek is of the same quality as are we. If we want to be seekers of truth, we start by learning to nisa niður, transcend, thereby start on the path of perfection. In time, we shall live the eternal truth. Material abundance and bounty is good, so wishes our beloved Lord Freyr. But he reminds us that this is not the whole story. We shall not stagnate on our evolutionary path, which means living our lifespan among hrímþursar. We shall rid ourselves of tröll and stand in purity. See at the poems Skirnismál and Þrymskviða, how to perform a ritual, found on YouTube. Goya Godi. 6th chapter. Want to understand concepts intellectually? Loddfáfnir, in second part of Hávamáll, sits down to really listen. Avoid expensive pseudo teachers. They are all over the place. Are we here offending some preachers? No. No one becomes offended here, as all the pseudo teachers think or want to believe that they are teaching the only true truth. They sound convincing and make a good and reassuring appearance. The inevitable rule is that each one of us gets the master he deserves, but nonetheless try not to be deluded by bigotry and flattering baseless eloquence. Óðsmál tells us all that which none of the educators and so-called spiritual institutions, expensive as they are, seem even to know. At least they do not tell us. They talk a lot, spread info on the thinking level, but we gain no wisdom. We, as Loddfáfnir, trying to make something profound out of spoken words, are kept on the sphere of thought and feelings. We have no idea about the abyss of consciousness within, and the less are we taught how to live it. That something up there is not within reach. We are too busy working anyway, and call that to live life. Talk about the abyss of life is only talk. It is not the abyss. We are too used to talk only. Some of it superficial eloquence, some might contain ancient wisdom. We are not pure enough to know the difference. We might listen to masters, but whatever they convey is only of any value if we ourselves are pure enough to see the profundity. Therefore, we start by becoming pure enough to see the profundity. Then it might turn out that we see more than the ones we listen to. Pure consciousness is, always is, does not come or go. We appreciate it when our awareness is open to it. How do we become pure? By nisa niður. That is purifying. Then we shall grasp the whole picture. See what is flowery words only and what is wisdom. Note, religious institutions might even have as a primary purpose the withholding of themselves, claiming to be some necessary institutions in society. But no, worldly empires and worldly institutions come and go. They are, as everything in the sphere of time and space, transient and fallible. Fleeting phenomena have a beginning and an end. Some are directly the Roman Empire under diverse new names, so empires can be persistent, at least while Kali Yuga still has a grip on us. To change identity is a common way of surviving the annoying exposure of betrayal and abuse of truth. These institutions are, as it turns out, only on the superficial sphere of life. They might talk about some intangible topics, though, but they are not of any use for us on our spiritual path towards enlightenment. They talk and preach on the surface of existence and keep us there. They speak, even piously looking, about something higher and mightier up there. But as it turns out, this talk is only verbosity. Of course, for them, there seems to be no rational reason for not going on with that talking, as they get paid for this talk. Some of them can really make extravagant living on those high wages they get for talking. They do not know why we are born, know not the purpose of human life, therefore teach not how to reach the goal. Goal? What goal? Is there a goal? Heaven rather than hell when dead? I recommend we should understand our own tradition, which evolved here among us with the laws of nature in our place. We should not lick up and flatter for imported stories which belong to other cultures. We should not take the threat-imposed, force-imported stuff as some truth higher than our own. The implementing of it has been done with money, power, and killing, and a lack of understanding of the purpose of life. Their purpose is, being true to their Roman origin, money and power. We should find out if they have the firm resolve of withholding themselves and their institutions, are concerned with not losing their gotten position and the grip on our money and thinking. But as I see it, if we could call these Roman ghosts off, we would not miss them. They were never meant for our spiritual evolution in the first place. It is a smart strategy, to have them look like something concerned with spirituality. But they are admittedly, not hiding their purpose, turned theocracy, literally God power. Their many monogods are man-made. Dost thou know that baptizing a baby is registering him into an all-worldly institution? This custom might be seen as violating human rights on a man who, due to young age, even less than a year from conception, cannot have any opinion, cannot understand the purpose of getting his hair wetted, knows not that his membership now means money for the hair wetter, who writes down his name in the institution's member register. Dost thou know that the name Jesus is, in the New Testament, used for vanity? There are researchers, theologians, who leak this to us. Different sects were competing for power, thus creeds and dogma written for egoistic purposes. There are forgeries and fabrication all along, and fabulae. Now a very irritating and personal question. Why believe some written texts and doubt other written texts? We Icelanders do not necessarily blindly believe our old manuscripts, the documentaries, written perhaps some 1300 years ago, Íslendingabók and Landnáma, on the settlement of Iceland, taking place in year 850, plus or minus, as these great texts most likely are written later on, for or by some men who perhaps wanted history and the records to be not according to truth, but according to their egoistic needs. We debate on it. We do research on it. Want to know the true version of it all. Scholars really search for the true story. Hafa skal það sem sannara reynist, the truer version should be used, might indicate that this were not true history, but manipulated historical record. But when it comes to another department in our University of Iceland, Háskóli Íslands, the theology department, we believe every word in texts written in Rome and other places there down south, some 1800 years ago, plus or minus, for which there is found no historical evidence, and could be inventions for their smart strategy only. We know about disclosure of forgeries and fabrications at the text, recycled ancient fabulae, but yet doubting these texts and proving the text to be inventions would what? Make some hundreds of state employees, priests and god professors and other who get paid for it become unemployed or granted relief work for research on, admitting that what they preached was all but smart old Roman strategy, devoid of true spirituality, only words about it. We, all of us, should learn to nísa niður, to expand our understanding. Talk about that something unfathomable serves the purpose to back the whole institution up as something necessary and relevant to life. Writing in the name of God, misquoting Jesus, unknown sayings, Gospel of Thomas, the Jesus mysteries. Was Jesus a pagan god? But we have been brainwashed for a long time. Some politicians even claim there to be a difference between our man-made constitution, on one hand, and, on the other, olden religious law texts. One would be an all-worldly man's work, the other God's law, religious commandments, not written by men. Even political scientists make this distinction. Come on. Who wrote or made the religious dogma and rules of society, which religious sects are supposed to obey? A god named God? Seers. By all means make a clear distinction between theocracy and theosophy. The very name theocracy is not hiding the fact that it is a man-made system of a religion. Literally God power, a god, some god, used as a tool to have the mob systematically obey man-made rules. An organized system made for all worldly power, backed up by some intangible concept of an untouchable superior ruler. But in reality, a necessity for its functioning properly, theocracy hides the fact that it is a man-made system named religion. Theosophy is knowledge of divinity, literally God knowledge, not hiding the purpose to obtain divine wisdom, a guide to the purpose of man's lifespans on earth. We have the term folk religion as opposed to organized religion, but the theocracy users prefer the comparison olden primitive religions, traditions, as opposed to the evolved religions, the theocratic organized systems. For them, the wisdom has evolved to the state of becoming handy tool to rule. But it must be backed up with murders, money, lust for power. In that way, it has been established and kept running during the Dark Ages. Are we brainwashed? How can we see that? We cannot expect Lotfagnir, after centuries of this superficial way of life, to fathom the profundity and the goal. Please read the second part of Hávamal, middle part of 3, the Upasana Kanda part, where Lotfagnir gets the advice that he shall benefit from the knowledge if he understands. Note, if. This most likely implies that understanding of the profundity is needed in order to benefit from it on our spiritual path. Words about it suffice not. Learning intellectually suffices not. We might also try to sort out in our own head whether we fathom concepts profoundly or superficially. In a profound way, both intellectually and also really transcending the sphere of thinking to really understand, live the pure knowledge, or if we are stuck in the superficial use of concepts due to centuries of that kind of stuff. This is surface interpretation, also called belief in the letter. Do we even go from one belief in the letter to another belief in the letter? Do some claim to be pagans, yet see the surface words and stories only? Not that profundity of life myths convey to us. By all means, learn to nisa niður, to expand the understanding. In the first place, we do not believe in gods. The danger of blind belief is always at hand. Belief is an all-worldly thought, a very persistent and stubborn one. It even outlives the believer. To trust and love, as belief used to mean originally, believe, geleva, would be more appropriate for the seeker of truth. We do not believe in gods, we understand them. Gods preside over the laws of nature. There is nothing mysterious about that. This is pure science. We can explore them. The laws of nature mirror the supreme order in Ginnungagap. Ginnungagap is where their perfection is derived from, what their perfection is. We fathom the total potential as the perfection of natural law in our universe. The sphere of the gods is Ásgarður, the sphere of total natural law. We could comprehend them intellectually, each one of them, but that would take a long, long time. So we simply visit Ásgarður, preferably twice daily, to live the whole thing in an easy and enjoyable way. When we transcend, we enjoy that most powerful sphere of life, and all the power inherent is ours by right. We imbibe Fimbulrúnir, the imported god named God, who demands belief in himself, is not consistent. He has diverse mundane aspects. He is said to be unexplorable, but that is said so that we do not try to understand. We might, by exploring, find out that we were not supposed to understand the institutions, as that would be inconvenient for them. The god named God was, to begin with, more than one monogods, all said to be the one and only true one, who later, for sake of strategy purposes, were melted into a one and only true one. He has attributes, often contradictory, which came from those many out of which he was made, punishing and loving, and all kinds of all-worldly attributes depending on the roles he is used in each case. His almightiness, thus, might be man-ruled and man-manipulated and serve diverse purposes for some men. We do not believe in institutions, as kids confessing confirmation into institutions are made say. We do not believe in gods. We do not believe in institutions. The danger of blind belief is always at hand. Do not go into that. Belief is an all-worldly thought or decision which can be very, very strong indeed, to the extent to be a hank on our spiritual evolution. It is better to trust our inner divine might and main and learn to contact that. Contact with ginnungagap is pure joy. Start by learning to nísa niður, easiest is TM. Gradually we become purer. What Lotfabni needs is purity. Once gotten, he shall fathom profundity and lay his Bifröst. We have the most precious human faculty to be able to transcend. We should use it and make it blossom in our lives. If we do not use it, we might lose it. May that never happen to mankind. 7th chapter. Someone has to educate us about the purpose and goal, make us literate on the symbolic language and allegory. Óðsmál is the first step, opens our eyes, then we ourselves take over. Sjálfur leið þú sjálfan þig, thou thyself lead thyself. There have always been men who understood the message Forni Siður is conveying to us. They saw that something more was to it than meets the eye, saw the pure spirituality. Óðsmál research was initially asked for by Mahasi Yogi, who gave us the knowledge and wisdom, and taught the world to transcend the realm of thought, to enjoy the source of thought, the unified field of total natural law. Here all power abides, and it is all ours. To begin with, we didn't know what profundity Maharishi was teaching. We did not understand. We had no understanding of the abyss of consciousness due to slack education. We only knew about the thinking level of life, trusted only our superficial intellect. Now we shall understand. The benefits of a heightened state of consciousness are that we, spontaneously, start seeking the wholesome and good only. The inevitable result of becoming purer is to seek only the highest. We start with yoga, the really transcending, not any pseudo-yoga. Start with the real yoga, can be measured on EEG. And all this yama, niyama, and all that comes all by itself, in time. We should not begin on the results. That is, try to become good, then to end on learning to transcend. Better the other way around. Start on the yoga, the rest will come, in time, all automatically. We simply and naturally practice nísa niður, really transcend, regularly become pure, heighten our state of consciousness effortlessly. The rest follows, takes care of itself. We can learn an easy and natural technique to transcend effortlessly. Mind will, by its own inherent nature, take care of the transcending if we learn the delightfully simple technique correctly. We are taking a break from Þursameyir þrír, Triguna, of nature, the three qualities of nature, who can drive us crazy if we do not know how to go beyond them, beyond nature, to pure consciousness. Rulers of the world, Sattva, Rajas, Tama. Krishna advises, Nishtra Guni above, be without the Triguna, which is the easiest thing on earth, if we learn how to do that. Mind is always seeking happiness. Our senses work full time and even extended shifts to bring joy to mind. Mind is insatiable as long as the happinesses and joys are from the Gungnir out there. Mind keeps on seeking. We know deep inside that mind has not found what it's looking for. We forgot who we are. Therefore, we make use of this seeking of the mind. We offer mind the unique position to hang on vingameiður, penned in no place, charmed by little gungnir, a sound or vibration. This little sound has no meaning, but is carefully chosen to be a life-supporting one. That is all, practically, but the technique has to be learned correctly, practiced correctly. Then the rest takes care of itself. That is, as long as we do not do anything to interfere with the natural and automatic process. This has to be learned from a certified, properly trained teacher. It is very delicate. We are so used to exertion, trying, making things happen, that we might start interfering or even expect or want to think about the process. Now understand that thinking about would be a thought will only interfere. Expectation is on the sphere of thought, so do not do that. Let go. Allow mind to find a way. Mind is going home to its origin and real home. Only learn the technique to have the automatic flow happen. This is the easiest flow ever possible. Here mind finds what it was seeking all the time. In this serenity and immortality, our body follows mind to complete peace and deep rest. Muscles relax, breathing becomes a flow, brain waves become correlated. Stress in the nervous system, deep-rooted as well as new, gets released. This stress release is encountered by Sleipnir, our nervous system, and he reacts to that tease, which in turn teases our brain, who thereby gets a thought. Brain is made for thoughts, reactions, solving, interpreting, learning. It is very specialized in its exquisite field of performance. This, though, in the case of stress release, is irrational thinking. The reason for these thoughts is stress in the nervous system getting released. So we take no notice of thoughts which occur in this manner. Our forefathers explained these stress release thoughts to cause falla aftur þaðan, fall from there again. A most natural coming out that we can expect when stress gets released. The stress then to vanish into thin air. Ignorance and truth is something not for real anyway. They vanish, leave. That ignorance leaves us. We do not go anywhere. We now innocently allow mind to resume the little meaningless beautiful gungnir by which we lured it to the hang on vingamæður to begin with. This is what mind enjoys endlessly, finding eternal bliss within. We become purer day by day, in time to finish our Bifröst. We lay our Bifröst by transcending. This bridge leads to Valhöll. The ancient wisdom and knowledge, heritage from our forefathers, has been preserved in a seed, a timeless seed. We provide the soil, we provide the rain, and when it peeps up, we provide the sunshine. It will blossom. It will yield lifelong nourishment. 8th chapter. How to reach the goal. Valhöll, fully alive. How to spread Bifröst layer by layer. Easy and delightful. We learn the technique to go daily to Ásgarður, Hnitbjörg, Glaðheimar, Ægir, to gain fimbulrúnir, góðir galdrar. Learn the art to still high seas. Learn to make a Gleipnir and other life's handy contraptions. Have a sip of meat of wisdom and taste of wine of Valföður. Learn to wield mjölnir and handle gungnir precisely. Know how to make peace among sons of kings and wage peace wherever we go our lands. The perennial bedtime stories about the palace tend to end on, and they lived happily ever after. We ought to know that some do not live happily ever after having reached an all-worldly palace. Therefore, we should understand what this particular palace really is. Snow White, the Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella and other such stories are allegory for laying Bifröst and reaching Valhöll. Valhöll is enlightenment of a living human being. Vopnum reft þak, brynjum á bekkistráð. Weapons are used to support the roof. War armor is now scattered on benches, as here peace prevails. Einherjar do not fight with weapons. They wage peace on earth in pure consciousness. Please do not go for distortions and inventions as Valhöll to be some dead man's abode. That is some lousy mix-up with something else which cherishes death and after-death places, not any heathen siður. We should realize that we live in a little petty cycle of waking and sleeping, as we do not know anything else. Awake, ideas, intentions, mindfulness, concentration, contemplation, thinking thoughts, fake yoga, tiredness. Asleep, shut off, rest, REM, thoughts, artificial states. Dream sleep is caused by fatigue, being released in the body, but yet we call dream, REM sleep, the third state of consciousness. We should know that this kind of life in a little unnoticed vicious cycle is not the purpose we are born for. Of course we do not know. How can we when nobody tells us? There is a fourth state of consciousness. Awake, in deep sleep, REM, or dream sleep, and the fourth, nísandi niður, fully awake. Any man who has a human nervous system, who can think, who can fall asleep and wake up, can learn to nísa niður. It is all natural to us. Compared to the diving into air, now see how petty our little vicious cycle of waking and sleeping looks. That's on the next page. We lay the bits Bifröst, layer by layer, by transcending the realm of thought to the origin of thought, pure consciousness. We, in time, change from life in ignorance to life in enlightenment. Valhöll, our real home. Here we belong, here we live purity. Val, from Sanskrit, means to return home, come back home. See how petty our intellectual pride is. Nísan yður to Hnitbjörg, Ásgarður, Glaðheimar ægir, to the source of thought, stress release from nervous system, nourishment, orderliness. Falla aftur þaðan, fall from there again, having imbibed fimbulrúnir. In Hávamál we have nísa niður, which means to transcend. We shall learn the delicate and effective all-automatic technique to do that. Practice it twice daily all our life, and Bifröst will, in time, lead to Valhöll, that is, we live as enlightened men. Why doesn't anyone teach us, tell us what we are here for? Óðsmál does, see Óðsmál, books on Amazon, and educational chapters on YouTube. These places within us, Ásgarður, Hnitbjörg, Glaðheimar ægir, are all one and the same in our context of nísa niður, transcend. But thoughts are all worldly on the surface of life. We plunge into the purifying ægir. It's all fun. We go beyond thought. Here we imbibe the divine orderliness of Goddess realm. At ægis, there is a renowned feast ever going on. We use wormholes, as does Odin, to glide into our innermost Hnitbjörg, the cave where we shall find the meat of wisdom, of which we are allowed to imbibe as much as we want. To begin with, the cave is a bit obscure, but by frequenting the hospitality of Gunnlöð, we shall see better and better all the details here. In Ásgarður, the gods preside over the laws of nature. Here we live our greatest power, and we gradually bring it into our life. Our Sleipnir, human nervous system, is our vehicle. Our Valkyria serves us at the feast. We enjoy the ever-flowing life force, the wine of Valföður, which gives endless rejuvenating inner might and main. The gods love them who are biologically young, however old this present body becomes. In Glaðheimar of consciousness, mind has expanded to infinity. Contact with Ginnungagap is pure joy. Expansion of consciousness is real happiness gained, pure bliss. Our body is no boundaries. There are no obstacles whatsoever. The total unmanifest harmonizing perfection gets mirrored in its purest form in our physiology and in our mind. We do not kill the ego. We expand it to Glaðheimar ego. Individual consciousness is sacrificed into, merges into universal consciousness. The individual is eternity, infinity. We shovel nutrition into life, become pure and flawless. We now, little by little, enjoy in life on earth the skill in action called fimbulrúnir. They come in handy in any situation in life. We have now learned how to wield Mjölnir, as Mjölnir can only be effective from that place of unity. We so batter our trudge of ignorance effortlessly. They leave us We do not get out of ignorance, as it is not for real, it leaves us. Now we have the skill to handle gungnir precisely. We use gungnir as a tool to gain the material for Bifröst. Remember Bif, from Sanskrit vip, to be vibrations. We here use flickering vibrations as a tool to obtain the material for our bridge. Bil, from Sanskrit bil, or bil, the gap, opening. We now pure are the pure knowledge. We lift the sphere of all possibilities. The gap is our path, and our rust, destination, and we are it. Ginnungagap is the only there is. Our path is reality, the only there is, consciousness. When we become pure, we shall understand these words. Men who transcend know how to make peace among sons of kings. Here we work from pure consciousness, not on meetings and assemblies where men talk on the surface plane of life about peace and how to make it permanent. We need not weapons, as we have the all-pervading power inside. Now we are making Gleipnir, who holds threats to the end of our universe, Ragnarök. 9th chapter. Now we see that we start seeing, and we want to tell others of the shining wonders they not yet see. The material needed for Bifröst is purity. Going to glasses. Our spiritual sun, goddess soul, a sun, is rising. What is it that makes sunrises? The path of the surface of Mother Earth, on whom we stand, moving, rushing, carrying us towards east, the direction of sunrise. The sun only is there. With the sunrise, darkness is no more. Similarly, we approach enlightenment, standing still without going anywhere. It is the ignorance, tröll, ósvinna, which evaporates. We do not go anywhere. Goddess sun always is here for us. Ignorance, our tröll, gradually leaves us. Ignorance is not for real anyway. Sjálfur leið þú sjálfan þig, thou thyself lead thyself. The only we need regarding our spiritual matters is knowledge, and we need to learn how we find the highest supreme knowledge. The gaining of the supreme knowledge is easy, as knowledge is here, is ours, and we are it. Síðhöttur, the purpose, path and goal is perfection. Siddhartha. Man possesses a highly evolved nervous system. Man trees as driftwood on the shore are powerless and fateless, lítt megandi og örlöglaus. The gods, óður hænur lóður, give us human attributes. We are now divine beings, which is very good. We are free to think and act. But mind thee, it also brings responsibility. We are now responsible for ourselves and the whole of nature. As we are divine beings, we have the inherent attribute to be able to nísa niður, transcend. Now listen, as this is of vital importance. We should use these human qualities, this ability to transcend the sphere of thought, to live the source of thought, source of all. If we do not, we are wasting a lifespan, a precious lifespan. On top of that, even more severe, we might lose this priceless human attribute if we do not use it. Then all would go down the drain. That negligence must simply not happen to mankind. A path not trodden will get lost in tall weed, Hávamál. Now we want the whole of mankind to enjoy the supreme wisdom, which is ours by right. Now we want to let all men enjoy the bliss of Goddess soul, which is found within, quite effortlessly, when we have the understanding and the purity. When we so heighten the universal consciousness, we help Satyuka and make it easy for her to come. And we also ease the grip of Kali-yuga to make it easier for her to depart. Her time has come to an end now. When this gets going, more and more evolved souls come to carry on their evolutionary path. They would be indigo kids and crystal kids who will live in Satyuga only, as they have that choice on their evolutionary path. Spiritual evolution is the path and the goal of human lifespans. New theories and explanations in Óðsmál. Why would we be studying Óðsmál? New theories in Óðsmál enjoy unique explanations. New insight is given in Óðsmál. Óðsmál brings to us profound understanding. We gain unique knowledge, the truer view of which you might never have heard before. Understand concepts intellectually, no illiteracy anymore, know the purpose and goal of life. Do we know? Learn to nísa niður. Now thou canst begin on thy good path towards perfection. Interpretations of allegory and symbolic language, the pure spirituality and theosophy in Heathenry. Website óðsmál.org. Loki, mankind, perpetually fucking up and desperately trying to amend the flaws, but Sigyn is always our true friend. Gunnlöð is she who lures us, invites us. Löð is hospitality. Her sounding kvasir is pleasing to our mind. We only have to learn the little easy delicate technique to give mind the chance to get what it seeks. We use wormholes. Nísa niður in Háamál, Visa 138 and on, can easily be learned nowadays, as we have the TM technique, thanks to Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. There have through the ages always been men who understood the last vísur verses of Háamál, but explaining in mere words about it was difficult as the technique to translate was missing. Falla aftur þaðan, fall from there again, made the scholars laugh. How can we go down and then fall down from there? Ho, ho. Silly forefathers, silly stories. But now we know that mind seeks Glaðheimar, where accumulated stress in the nervous system gets released and is gotten rid of. This stress release irritates Sleipnir, our nervous system, who in turn is the reason for thoughts to emerge. These thoughts are know nothing really, as they are but irritation in the nervous system when stress is released. Elves, álfar, are channels into our innermost treasure. We shall keep them clear, as they are for the flow of life itself. During the dark ages of Christianity in Iceland, some tried to warn us against elves, even claim them and their elf cliff to be a bad temptation, which should be avoided at all costs by keeping to Christian teachings. In known elf hills and elf cliffs in Iceland, some kind of waves can be measured with sophisticated gear, so it is not unlikely that some can detect them with their eyes, that is, see light in these known elves' abodes. Chart from Global Country, John Hageling, Unified Field in Physics, Consciousness. Note that Æsir and Jötnar can be seen as Bose fields and Fermi fields. My theory. At Ragnarök they are no longer this broken symmetry, they re-emerge into unity. Our forefathers' physics and their science of consciousness. Jötnar, singular jötun, are colossal eaters. They are rust, mold, erosion, withering, getting rid of our creations. Otherwise we would overfill our surroundings with stuff. Jötnar are the necessary sweeping up department. Be careful though, not to let them be free radicals in our body while we are still using it to live in it. Tröll are our ignorance. We do not see our ignorance due to our ignorance. This is our terrible blindness. This not to see how our path of spiritual progress is waiting for us. We do not even know that there is a spiritual life, a spiritual path, a goal of enlightenment. We shall have to batter away our tröll, ignorance. We shall learn how to wield Mjölnir, so we can get rid of ignorance. Let in the rays of Goddess Sun, soul, the rays of sun of enlightenment into our lives. Where and how do we learn how to handle Mjölnir? The only true way to wield Mjölnir. We learn to nísa niður. Thereby imbibe Fimbulrúnir. This is skill in action in the world of men. Endless miracles we shall perform for the good of all. Thursar are old, now useless states of consciousness. We shall evolve towards higher states of consciousness. The fastest way towards enlightenment is to learn to nísa niður and practice that all our lifespan. Þursameyjar are the daughters of Thursar. We see them as taking over, as to be our next and higher, more reward state of consciousness. Here we have Skaði Þjasadóttir, Gerður Gimisdóttir, Gunnlöð Suttungsdóttir. Beautiful. Gerður í Gimisgörðum, see skírnismál, is mankind still in ignorance. Askur and Embla are man trees. Man trees have roots in that which no man knows. mangi veit hvers af rótum renn. The gods, óður hænir lóður, give us human attributes, so we now are divine beings, no small thing, man. Sleipnir is our human nervous system. His 8 legs become and symbolize the 192 nerve endings. We shall keep our sleek and gliding superb vehicle perfectly pure. This we do by transcending the sphere of thought to the source of thought. Glaðheimar, Ásgarður, Ægir, Hnitbjörg, Ginnungagab, Tífatún, powerful sphere of Tívar, laws of nature. Ragnasjöt, abode of Ragn, gods. The unified field of total natural law, Lokfara Lundurbarri, see skýrnismál. That is nirvana, where Gerður, mankind, is going to meet divinity, Lord Freyr. The sphere of transcendence only found within. Ásgarður, the garden or city of Æsir, the gods, is the sphere of total natural law. Here all is in harmony and is harmonizing when we visit Ásgarður to accept the wine of Valföður, to imbibe the best of meat for our purity. Our Valkyria serves us here. Our vehicle for the visit is Sleipnir, our human nervous system, and we are welcomed home. Here we belong. Our Valkyria is not summoning dead. She serves us living men to reach Ásgarður every day. Here we imbibe the divine refreshments, restore our balance and power, restore place, restaurant. Ásgarður is the sphere of the law of nature, the flawless, the divine. Copyright John Hagelin. Mimir is the memory of all. Mimir remembers back and forth. By this some opportunity for space is granted, which Heimdallur makes use of to sound his gjallarhorn, the first element, höfuð skepna being born. Memory and what is to be heard is so closely connected. Shruti, smriti. Valhöll is the place for the enlightened man walking on earth. Fully alive we reach Valhöll. Here we have returned home at last to where man really belongs. First now we can bear the name man. The fastest way to enlightenment, Valhöll, is to lay the bridge Bifröst or Bifröst, layer by layer, all our lifespan. That we do by nýsa niður, transcend. Lord Freyr sends Skírnir in skýrnismál, is the divine ray sent by Lord Freyr to mankind, Gerður. Personifications, anthropomorphic versions of powers, can be a trap. Guys and dolls are not the right interpretation of powers in myths. Lokfara Lundurbarri in skýrnismál is nirvana. Hrímþursar in skýrnismál are stagnation on our evolutionary path towards perfection, enlightenment. Do we know that we are on our evolutionary path, or do we not know? Ymir is the sounding universe. The gods make out of sound the 5 elements. All is perfect according to the master plan. These are healthy and sound sounds. Tívar tefla teitir í túni. We should never ever strike a false tone in the perfect symphony. That counts for violating the laws of nature, builds up ire in Mother Nature. Thund is one of many rivers in Norse mythology. Rivers flow to the ocean. The surface of the ocean evaporates and forms clouds, who are blown to mountain tops, where they become rain and snow. Waterbeds are formed, and brooks. Again, brooks and rivers flow to the ocean. These cycles uphold evolution. Without water there is no vegetation growing. Cycles in myths are not mere circles. They are what upholds evolution. The ocean can be the abyss of waters, without which nothing can be. We transcend, that is nísum niður, for from there again, now nourished, and that is an evolutionary cycle. The world is all cycles, nourishing and upholding cycles. Vín Valföður, the wine of Valföður, is eternal flow of divine intelligence. We shall compare mythical wine of Dionysus, Bacchus, Jesus. Óðinn ævi vín eitt unir needs no other than the flow of intelligence. But after use, body meat goes to the dogs, see Geri and Freki. Loddfafnir, according to Óðsmál, where Hávamál is in 3 parts, Karmakanda, Upasanakanda, Jnanakanda. As Odin is in 3, our Harry þriði is the seeker of truth. Lodfafnir sits down with the teacher of truth and listens. He tries to learn intellectually, which is a good beginning. He has not yet gained the profound understanding, but when he does, he shall really benefit from it. Ginnungagap is eternity. No beginning of it is, not is there an end to it. All there is Ginnungagap, nothing other, no second, nothing else. Brísingamenn is the brightest jewel on earth, mankind. Goddess Freya, the space-time foam bubble of a universe, guards her most precious jewel, mankind, us. We are the divinely attributed beings who are taken care of in the universe by heavenly powers. Please remember that the whole game of being born is for our spiritual evolution, where the winning goal is enlightenment, and only by living in a body can we play this game. I wish we could be responsible enough to deserve our status and our responsibility. Hildisvíni, shield of the goddess of creation, could be uterus, mother's womb, protection for the embryo. Swine is a fertility symbol, we know. Meðmar is what we give back to Mother Nature for all her gifts and care. And what would we give back? What she would like to receive from us? We transcend her, imbibe the perfection. We sacrifice our individual consciousness into universal consciousness. This is to give back. If we don't, then we are mere thieves. Þjóðvitnir is originally the good guy who chants wisdom and power for elves and Æsir. But during Kali Yuga, Þjóðvitnir starts his blooming business exploiting our ignorance, of which we do not perceive. Goddess Eir is trying to persuade Þjóðvitnir to resume his noble role. This book, Skræða number 4, is a delight as we succeed in getting Þjóðvitnir to reveal his business secrets. You will really benefit from knowing Þjóðvitnir is all fun, mocks us and everything, above all our ignorance. Theocracy and theosophy. We really should understand the idea behind theocracies, and we should understand the profundity contained in theosophy. One might be a tool to rule, the other giving us knowledge of the purpose of life and how to live spiritually and meaningfully. I recommend that we all find out. Skaði seeks the highest, Baldur, sun god. The difficult relationship in which she is stuck is for sure of our concern. We live in this difficult situation. We are born in a body in order to evolve, and we should be using our lifespans to evolve to the highest. Find sun god Baldur within. To pardon, to let go of accusation, to excuse, is considered very good, but mind you, in order to excuse, we first have to accuse. Is the accuser really so great that he is in position to accuse and excuse? What sayest thou on this point? Really think it over. Irminsul is, to my mind, showing transcendence. See it for fun my way. Is Irminsul vingameiður? Dwarfs are handy creatures about the house. Who are they? The progeny of Ivaldi. Then who is Ivaldi? We should list all the marvelous high-technology contraptions dwarfs make to save the day. Save our life, save humanity. We should also compare this to what Indians read out of their ancient records of wars, and how they compare the descriptions of ancient and modern weapons and war gear. The trouble about our ignorance, ósvinna, is that we do not see it. It is of the same nature as is brainwashing. We have no idea of the blinding effects of ignorance. We think we are normal, but the truth is that we are not. That is not until we become enlightened. Óðsmál is given to us to make us aware of this. As long as we are not perfectly pure and stainless, stressless, we cannot bear the name man. Only by purifying ourselves, and that we do by nísa niður, transcend, can we see what we should have been aiming at all our lifespans. Daughters of Rán, Ránardætur, are our superficial life, loaded with unpredictable turbulence and fear stance. We love that, but we should have a break from them. Fun as they are, they might drive us crazy. We have to plunge into the abyss of ire, imbibe the perfect order of Rán, and bring that into life to be able to cope with its fun. Ire is the unfathomable abyss of waters, the great void, Ginnungagap. At Ire's, that is, at the feast in the halls of Ire, we are offered divine nourishment. We plunge again and again into Ire, ever deeper. That is, we daily transcend the sphere of thought, and in time we shall become pure. Rán means orderliness. She is the perfection reflected in the universe, mirrored from Ginnungagap. Gungnir, the spear of Odin, is but different vibrational modes, superstrings, intangible, ever-flickering vibrations, which we claim to be matter. Vilbjörg mun vaka means that we will in time see that we are not the worldly stuff we claim to be and see. In time we shall see. Bölverkur, name of Odin, means he who perforates, he who splits up, he who makes holes, he who penetrates the so-called matter. He uses wormholes drilled by Rati. This is how we expand to infinity. So to find Hnitbjörg, here we meet Gunnlöð, and by that gain the meat of wisdom, Mjöður. Siddhartha, Síðhöttur, one of Odin's 108 names, means he who has perfection as a goal. Each name of Odin has a meaning in context with the message of the poem or myth in which it occurs. And all names in Icelandic have a meaning, some more profound than others. The Maharishi effect waits peace in pure consciousness in Norse mythology. Hvar hattur vex með Hildings sonum, það má eg bæta brátt. Wherever hatred grows among the sons of kings, that I can amend at once. Hvar æsir fórum lönd fylgði þeim friður, og þóttu þeir góðum líkir. Wherever æsir went over lands, peace prevailed, and they were found to be godlike. Vopnum reft þak, brynjum á bekki stráð in Valhöll. Weapons are used to support the roof. War armor is now scattered on benches, as here peace prevails. Einherjar do not fight with weapons. They wage peace on earth in pure consciousness. Freyja is the space-time foam, and so is Aphrodita. Space-time foam, wormholes, for Odin, us. To transcend, urður verðandi skuld should be understood. They are a law of nature, action and an equal reaction, law of karma, always fair, always correct. Urður is our doings, acts, thoughts, words. We are all responsible ourselves. There are no they decided here. We should know our forgotten lifespans to play in. We cannot blame others for our circumstances. Unfathomable is the course of action, Bhagavad Gita. We know not, but verðandi never fails in her calculations on time of our skuld. Enginn má sköpun renna, no man can run away from his örlög, fate, which he himself created in the first place. Andhrímnir, eldhrímnir, sæhrímnir, and the three, air, fire, water, out of 5 elements, höfuðskepnur. Compared to Vata, Pitta, Kapha, body types, and Prana, Tejas, Ojas, good qualities in our body. Valhöll thus is for living man, pure man. Einherjar live in a state of physical purity. Muspell and Nibble, fire and fog, are silence and dynamism in Ginnungagap. Mundilfari, Earth's axis, whose imagined extended ends draw a huge mandala in 26,000 years. Svalin, the shield, the ozone layer, protecting soils and waters from sun's burning rays. Dao and Dvina, to fade and stop thinking, is Dhyana, when mind fades into eternity for divine refreshment and harmonizing nurturing. Our body is but gungnir, vibrations, and not solid at all porous. Mind is not confined to body as if in prison. Mind can go anywhere it wishes to go. Odin as Bölverkur, he who perforates and uses wormholes, has told us how easily we can gain the meat of wisdom in Hnitbjörg within. Hermóður can be Hermóður, a warrior, but also Herm, Óður, he who is out of control because of sorrow for Baldur's death. Hermdarverk veldur harmi, herm, harm, and act of terror causes grief. Geri and freki, the voracious and the terror, from Sanskrit gara, vrika, get meat, while all further receives nourishment from the flow of life, divine wine alone. This meat going to the dogs is bodies no longer in use. Recycled stuff, no regret. We shall make a brand new one when we need. We do that lifespan after lifespan. Hell is a coffee break between lifespans. We'll love her as a rest. She is cold and half blue. Önd skal liva og aldrei tínast. Soul shall live and never perish. Hell is she who covers, hides away. Icelandic verb hylja. Hel, helur. We are not seen while we dwell with her, enjoying her famed hospitality. Should be added here for the sake of not advertising Hotel Helja in a misleading way. Luckily, we do not have any needs during that period of nobody. Rindur, mother to Váli Óðinsson, hawk of morning and awakening, is an ocean deity. Her name akin to Varuna and Uranus. Big Bang to Ragnarök is a huge cycle. We are about half through right now, as some 13.8 billions of years have already passed in the sphere of time and space in our beautiful universe. At Ragnarök, there will be either the big crunch or the big rip. No big deal. As önd skal lifa og aldrei tínast, soul shall live and never perish. Ullur Öndurás, the skiing god, is fire, Sanskrit ul. Fire skiing in the snow, queer. But the snowy mountains indicate heightened state of human mind, and skiing is a swift mode of getting between places. We know here up north, Ullur burns up the vicious cycle of action and death, leading to next action. We do not see how we are tossed about in the vicious cycle until we can break loose. Undur is from Sanskrit advan, a way, road, path. This word is found in Old Norse, Icelandic, and in Sanskrit, but I haven't found it in other European languages. Skaði is underdís, a skiing dís, seeking the highest. Some claim Ullur í Ídölum, fire in the yew tree valley. He has to make his skis and his bow, of course of finest yew wood, to be the same god as Heimdallur, the bright one, in Himinbjörg, Himalaya. Fire and space, both are höfuðskepnur, elements. Einherji, plural einherjar, they are living men, enlightened men, the excellent ones. Please correct misinterpretations which might be found in your head as ghosts from the dark ages. Valhalla is a place or stage of evolution, a golden palace of pure men who now, first now, can bear the name a man. Þursamegir þrír, the three Thurs Max, or sons, show up when the gods are arranging the flawless laws of nature in the universe. They are the qualities of Mother Nature, three guna, Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun. We shall take a break from them twice daily all our life. The only way to evolve spiritually is to be born and live in a body. This implies the dance with Þursamegir þrír. We should know them to be the performers of action in the world, but that does not mean we can blame them for all our flaws. Listen to names in our mythology. Listen slowly, slowly to Brimir. Brimir. Can you hear the creation and the turning of a cycle into itself and the continuity? Brigit is a Celtic mother, mother to gods. Listen slowly, slowly to her blessed name. This picture is an old Icelandic Yule greetings card. Jólasveinar come from the mountains during Yuletide to visit us. So what about our hospitality? I have the notion that our Yule lads, Jólasveinar, are our forefathers in disguise. We might have offered a kind of pindata, that is given food to deceased family members during Yuletide, but ancestor worship being banned by the Dark Age theocracy, we of course carried on with it, as silly rules always tend to be broken. Then we lied, oh, the Jólasveinar steal some food from the pantry during the dark nights in December at winter solstice. We might have offered to Álfar, elves, and other whites too, to the great delight of the tiny non-migrating birds who survive the winters in Iceland. Óðinn vili vie are Rishi-Devata chantas in vet and Hilbert space observable states of old physics. The curiosity process, which really has unforeseen consequences, that is creation. Óðinn is the knower, he who knows, he who gets the will, vili, to seek for knowledge. Vili is the process of seeking knowledge in pure knowledge. Here there is nothing to be found other than pure knowledge. So he only finds vie, the knowledge found. Once found, vie tends to hide Óðinn and vili from us. We miss the process, rejoicing only in the found. That is a pity, for sure, as we are Óðinn, the seeker of knowledge. We miss out ourselves. That is bad. But even worse is that this process, Óðinn vili vie, which goes back only to repeat itself again and again, hides from us ginnungagap, reality, in which the whole play takes place. We do not see ourselves. We know not who we are in current essence. As necessary as creation is for our spiritual evolution to take place, we tend to get absorbed in and completely taken in by creation, thus forgetting reality. Yelivawar are to me a foggy mind, Maya. We see not well. Gladheimar are the widest and the gladdest, infinity itself. Human mind can easily find itself there any time. In Gladheimar we imbibe the purity and perfection of Ginnungagap. We experience the joy of contacting the purity of consciousness. Contact pure consciousness. This is the nourishment in life. Without it, we man trees wither away. Midbjörg is our innermost cave. We should explore it. That we do by transcending. To begin with, we do not see details clearly in here, but gradually our vision recovers from its blindness. Here we imbibe the meat of wisdom. We are welcomed by a thirst maiden, who actually is not supposed to show hospitality, rather expected by her father, the Þurssuttungur, to hide the meat away from us. But alas, a Norse myth, who can control female power here in the Northern heritage? By Misa niður, transcend the sphere of thought, transcend nature herself, we gain fimbulrúnir and galdrar góðir, good galdur, which is the skill in action in the world of men. Such handy abilities as walking on water and all that good stuff belonging to the enlightened ones. Hanging on vingameiður is pending in nothingness, in the middle of nowhere, where mind is given the chance to plunge into the abyss, our very consciousness completely pure. We need a delicate technique to give mind this chance of hanging on vingameiður. That we shall learn. Fórn is sacrifice. Fórn, færa, to bring. What do we sacrifice? What we sacrifice, bring, is our individual consciousness, myself, given unto universal consciousness. I am the fórn, the sacrifice, fully alive. I am more alive than ever when I fell after þaðan, fall from there again, into my human thoughts. I always see Loki as mankind fucking things up and then desperately trying to make up for his stupidity. What sayest thou? See how to perform Þrimskviða ritual and how to perform Skírnismál ritual. Available on youtube.com/gaujagoði. Book Skírnismál script for Benz on Amazon. Óðsmál books on Amazon, search ODSMAL or search Freyjukettir. Óðsmál educational videos on YouTube, youtube.com/gaujagoði. Óðsmál website, óðsmál.org. Óðsmál is supported by Þróunarsjóður námsgagna, Fund for Evolutionary Teaching Material, Ministry of Education, and by Heathenry, Fund supporting of independent innovative research and teaching material. And now thou takest over. The path is here and now. Icelanders do have some humor after all, and so have goddesses. Pondering on Loki as time. Loki, Saturnus, Kronos, all share the same weekday, Saturday, Sanskrit Hanivasara. They might also be sharing Yule, winter solstice on the northern hemisphere, that is the beginning of a new cycle. Ancient pagan Saturnalia is all about time. As time consumes all created things, so the old year is swallowed by the new year. The departing year is often pictured as an old man leaving, and the new year as a baby, seen simply as one of our natural cycles. We say, bites its own tail, and our cycles carry us forward. Lok means end, loka to close, ljúka upp, open up, lokið, opened. We know Kronos and Saturnus to consume babies, but mind you, this is metaphorically. Saturnalia is a metaphoric term for time as an eater. And revolutions, which simply means to turn or come up with new times, are also known for eating their children. Sarcastic joke, we know. We are not speaking about cannibalism, we are talking about time. In the sphere of time, all is revolving, departing and renewing itself. Time consumes what has been created to make space for new creations. We take getting old for time. We make time as we see fleeting things pass by. Funnily enough, the Scandinavian Yule goat is thought to have become our Icelandic Yule cat, jólakötturinn. The zodiac sign Capricornus, 10th sign, is our Glitnir, abode of God forseti. See Einar Pálsson on Grimnismál and Björn Jónsson stjartvísi í Eddum. The Yule cat does not have any horns, though, but horns are taken as a fertility token. We even can say in English to be horny, want sex. Our Yule cat, jólaköttur, swallows those who do not get any new garment or a present at Yule. But this might be all about time, a new garment. Fara í jólaköttin, still used in Iceland, means did not get any Yule gift. The horns of the missing goat might have ended up on Grýla, the one who was used as a threat during the dark ages of churchianity in Iceland. She would catch naughty kids, cook them and eat. But Grýla might also be Gerður in Skírnismál, and therefore Leppalúði, her doolittle husband, Freyr, could just as well be one of the attempts to suffocate heathen customs such as Skírnismál ritual around Yuletide. Skírnismál, the ritual now revived by Óðsmál. Here, the good girl Valka lets all the naughty kids out, saves them from becoming a meal, eaten, which is a typical Saturnalia term. Chronos means time, compared to English words chronic, chronicle, chronologically. Churchians always seem to need punishment for disobedience and a price for obedience, some kind of heaven and hell carrot and stick. In Heathenry, this is not needed at all. We encourage every individual to be responsible for himself on his own terms. Stupid churchian mothers now use Santa for a Grýla, as they claim him to put a raw potato in the shoe on the windowsill in December as a punishment on children who do not obey. Poor Santa, to be used, abused, in this dirty trick of cowards. Mothers who blame him for the dirty punishment because of their claim of obedience to their sometimes stupid rules. Has Loki something to do with jólakötturinn, the Yule cat? Did jólakötturinn get some time aspect at winter solstice, Yuletide? Or were the dark ages of churchianity only the cause of abusing good whites? That is what dark ages do. Now we shall welcome Satyuga. We heighten the state of consciousness of all our bairns, children. We teach them to nýsa niður and become pure. See also Book 12, Jólþorri Gói, for more ethnology. Number 12 of Óðsmál for Bairns, the 40 Skræður books. All Óðsmál books available on Amazon, search Óðsmál. Educational videos on YouTube. How to lay the bridge Bifröst, layer by layer. Bifröst, pronounced Bifröst, by all means, not Bifrost, please. And keep the accent on the first syllable, as always in Icelandic. Æsir name her Bifröst, the flickering, unreliable, what Bif is meant to tell. Röst is a span, length, the way covered in a day's journey, the planned destination, the place we reach at the end of each trip where we can rest, a place for resting, dwelling. But we also call her Bifröst. Bil tells us to peep inside through our wormholes to spread out our bridge. The bridge leads from life in Tröll to life in Valhöll. The bridge is our way from life in ignorance to life in enlightenment. The easiest and most delightful we ever can do as our Valkyria serves us.